welcome to today's deep dive. So imagine locking your jet engine loud, heat-spewing workstation in a basement, like 300 feet away, right? But you still have four independent 4K monitors, your keyboard, mouse, and absolute zero lag sitting right into your perfectly silent desk.
Yeah, that sounds like pure magic, but we are looking at the actual tech that makes this possible today.
Exactly. We are pulling from a highly technical spec sheet over at HDTVSupply for this heavy-duty piece of hardware from Smart-AVI. It is the DPX-XT-4P-RX-S quad-head DisplayPort KVM receiver.
I mean, that is definitely a mouthful of a product name.
Oh, it really is a massive wall of tech specs. But okay, let's unpack this. Think of this device less like a long extension cord and more like a super-powered digital lasso or a high-speed nervous system.
Right, it lets the brain, which is your actual computer, live in a totally different building while the eyes and hands work flawlessly right in front of you. That separation of brain and body is the core concept here.
So before we get into why it is so impressive, we need to know what it actually does. Can you break down the KVM and quad head parts for us?
Yeah.
But wait, so this isn't just sending a video feed to a TV, it's virtually relocating an entire workstation.
Exactly, yeah. You probably already know KVM stands for keyboard, video, and mouse. But the scale of this specific model is just wild. What's fascinating here is that this is the first extender on the market to combine four DisplayPort 4K video streams into one
Like
system.
4K streams? That is massive.
Oh, it is. We're talking a resolution of 3840 by 2160 at 30 hertz per screen, and it combines all that with transparent USB 2.0 control in one cohesive plug-and-play package.
Okay, wait, 4K monitors simultaneously, plus the USB control and audio. I mean, pushing that much uncompressed data usually requires dedicated fiber optic lines, right?
You would think so, yeah. But it actually transmits uncompressed video, bidirectional stereo audio, and data up to 330 feet away.
That is a solid 100 meters. And here's where it gets really interesting. All of this massive 4K data and USB control is carried over four standard, everyday CCAT 5E 6 or 6A Ethernet cables.
Yeah, the exact same cheap, twisted pair copper wire people use to plug in their living room Wi-Fi routers.
It's crazy. How are they doing that without hitting a massive bandwidth bottleneck or, dropping frames? Usually at that distance over standard copper wire, you'd see serious signal degradation.
Well, it really comes down to parallel transmission and multiplexing across physical channels. The receiver doesn't just try to jam all that massive 4K data down a single pipe.
Oh, so it splits it up.
Exactly. The system utilizes four separate Ethernet cables simultaneously. It takes the immense bandwidth load, like the uncompressed video, the audio, the USB packets, and synchronizes the transmission across those four distinct lines.
Wow. So by splitting the load this way, it completely sidesteps the standard bandwidth limits of a single copper cable.
Right. You maintain zero compression and zero latency over 100 meters because the data has four dedicated synchronized highways to travel on instead of just one.
It is essentially load balancing the physical infrastructure to trick the monitors and peripherals into thinking they are still plugged directly into the motherboard. So what does this all mean for you as a listener?
Well, it solves a massive physical problem for high-end users.
Right. I am looking at the price tag, which currently sits at $905.25. So it is an investment. Though, reading the source material, there are stellar customer reviews mentioning great phone support from the HDTVSupply team.
Which you definitely want when deploying pro-level hardware like this.
Oh, absolutely. But still, who actually needs their computer an entire football field away?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the value becomes obvious for high-stakes, specialized environments. Think about a post-production movie studio using massive rendering rigs.
Or maybe a medical facility analyzing sensitive imaging data.
Exactly. Those computers generate immense heat and noise, and they require strict physical security. So this KVM setup lets a business lock those bulky, expensive machines in a dedicated, climate-controlled server room.
Leaving the actual human workspace completely pristine. The user just gets the performance, four massive screens and absolute silence.
It fundamentally changes the architecture of a workspace. The traditional desktop computer literally doesn't need to be on or even near a desk anymore. It uncouples the human experience from the hardware reality.
Yeah, you are interacting with the sheer processing power of a heavy-duty workstation, but your physical environment is as quiet and clean as a library. It is an invisible tether built on everyday cables.
It entirely relocates the physical footprint of our heaviest technology.
Totally. If a simple box and some Ethernet cables can perfectly project a high-powered computer's interface 330 feet away with zero compression, it really makes you wonder. As this tech gets cheaper and smaller, will the concept of having a personal computer physically sitting inside our offices or homes eventually feel as outdated as having a loud, clunky power generator right in the living room? Something to ponder the next time your laptop fan sounds like a jet taking off.